Hello, Steve Mills here. It's great to be back on my podcast. I don't know whether you can hear in the background the seagulls. There you go. You can perhaps hear that. I'm at home today, working on my business and just based in Portsmouth. So it's great to be back anyway. And again, going through some tried, tested and proven ways to grow your business. Now, today I wanted to talk about something that some of you are going to get a little bit upset about, particularly those who go and do lots of networking. And today's podcast is really about why networking is a waste of time. That's ultimately what it's about. Now, I want to be really clear first. Not all networking is a waste of time, but the vast majority of people who go networking make no money from it. And that's why you're going. Let's be really clear. It's to make money. That's the purpose of your business, to make money. And I was talking to somebody the other day who said, so what's this networking that you're doing like? He said, oh yeah, it's brilliant. He said, it's great. You know, we go and, you know, everybody talks and we try and help each other and, there's a great atmosphere and so on. And I said, well, how long have you been going? And he said, well, about 2 years now. And I said, okay, so how much have you won in business? He said, quite a bit. And I said, well, exactly, specifically, show me in your accounts, how much have you won? How many new clients? Do you know what? He'd won none, not a carrot, not a penny had he won. And yet he'd been going there once a week, spending 2 to 3 hours, driving about 7 or 8 miles to this networking event, meeting people and, you know, in fairness to him, enjoying it, you know, and there's definitely something to be said for that. But, you know, I can find friends doing things like hobbies without going and sitting and eating breakfast and so on and so forth. So networking doesn't work. That's the honest truth. But not all networking doesn't work. Let me tell you firstly why I think it doesn't work. It doesn't work because of many reasons. Firstly, and probably foremost, the people who go networking are rubbish at it. And that's the absolute truth. You know, they turn up there, they don't dress for success, they just dress how they want to. They have no real script, and if they do, they have some sort of, you know, cliche script that's like a funny little thing at the end, you know, or a rhyming script or, you know, whatever. But the bottom line is, they don't get any leads from that script. So I'm talking about the 1 minute script that so many businesses have that often is absolutely terrible. And so that side of things doesn't work. They then, you know, to kick off with, they walk in the room without any preparation, without really knowing who's going to be there, and without really thinking about where are my type of clients going to be right now. Where are they? Are they at a Chamber of Commerce? Are they at a For Business? Are they at a BNI? Are they at, you know, all the different other networking organizations? And I hear these networkers tell me things like, well, it's not the people in the room, it's the people that they know. And you know what? It's wrong. It is the people in the room. So if your clients are big corporates and you're networking in any networking event where you've got little small businesses, yeah, okay, there's a chance that these small businesses might be doing business with some of your big corporates. There's also an even smaller chance that they're going to recommend you, and there's an even smaller chance that they know the right person to recommend to you in that large corporate anyway. So, you know, you've got to make sure you're at the right events. That's a real big mistake. So 1 is going there not prepared. 2 is going to the wrong place. 3 would be having a bad pitch, if you will. You know, what do you do, Steve? Having a good pitch at that point, whether that's somebody talking to me one-to-one or when I've got to stand up and do my 1 minute pitch, as it were. What else can I tell you? I've spoke to you about how people look and getting in front of the right people. I'd say a big one is just going in the room and talking to somebody who's on their own. What you need to do is to go in the room, get the list of people, define who you want to talk to, and then ask the person who's running the meeting to point you in their direction, or better still, to introduce you to those 3 people in the room that you really want to talk to. And another massive one, and this is just enormous. I've been, in business now 26 years, over half a century. And I've done my share of networking, I'll tell you. I've been to hundreds, if not thousands, of networking events. And I've met, if I've been to, I don't know, I'm making this up, but I'm going to say I've been to, let's say 1,000 different networking events. I've been to 1,000 events. And in that, I've been introduced to or met or spoken to, let's say 5,000 people. On average, I speak to 5 people at every single event that I go to. Have a guess, to the nearest 20, have a guess how many people have followed up with me. I've met them, we've had a good conversation, we've exchanged business cards, we've said, let's get in touch with each other, or let's keep in touch, or let's arrange to speak away from the meeting, or let's have a meeting next week. Have a guess how many of them have actually done that? The answer is 0. Not one. Not one person has ever done that. And that's true on so many fronts in this modern world. We're really rubbish at following up. Getting on the phone, picking up the phone and following up. And if you're like 99.9% of the business owners that I speak to, you'll be exactly the same. And I'm not really throwing stones here, because I know, with me, it can be a weakness. I just believe I've turned over a new leaf, and I'm really following up on people right now. I've been doing it about 2 or 3 days, expanding my follow-up, because it's one of the areas that I believe we've been rubbish at. And you know what? Today I made about 10 calls, and I got 4 meetings. 40% conversion rate. And these were like people who'd been clients a long time ago, who I hadn't spoken to for ages. They were all really appreciative of me getting in touch with them, and 4 out of the 10 wanted to meet up. So a huge success on that front. Let's just go back to what I was saying. So the follow-up is absolutely essential. So they're the main reasons that I think, why networking doesn't work. Let me just tell you about what networking does work, and that is your network of people that you know. If you're like most of the businesses that I speak to, you're not working your network. You're not keeping in touch with your current customers, your past customers, your prospects, the people the people that you know from, the gym. Again, another great example. Last night, I went playing table tennis. And I met a few people that I hadn't seen before. I spoke to one guy whose name was Stephen, and he said to me, "So what do you do apart from play table tennis, Steve?" So I said, "Well, I run my own marketing business." He said, "Oh, brilliant." He said, we really need help. Can I arrange a meeting? I said, yeah, sure. So I got a lead from playing table tennis. How bizarre is that? And, I think it's one that's going to turn into business. I will tell you that. And, that's fantastic, I think. So, it just shows you never know where business is coming from. But let's just go back to this networking thing. make sure that you're going to the right event. I've told you that the biggest mistake is not going to the right event. So the biggest thing to do is make sure that you are. So find out where your people go. They might be going to breakfast meetings and things like that, or it might be that they network at the local golf club, or they network in different ways, socially. They may not play sport, but they do this. They may be into football. They may be into, motor racing, whatever it is. That's what it is. And I'd also suggest, that you do want to enjoy it. If you're going to spend time, money and effort doing it, why not go networking at places that you enjoy? It's, I think, a real opportunity to do business with people that, to some level know, like and trust you. Because I've got a good reputation in the table tennis world, having, many years ago played at international level, I'm known by a heck of a lot of people. And when I, these days, playing in the veterans, go to a tournament, a lot of people want to talk to me, and that's really nice. But potentially it's also really useful, because some of those people who just know me through table tennis, I really need to make sure that they know what I do. I give them my contact details and they can contact me for my help. So, that again, I think is really important. So that's really the main things that I wanted to say. They're the reasons why it doesn't work. They're the things that you can do to make it work. So it's really the opposite of that, isn't it? It's make sure you're organized. Make sure you look good when you get there. Make sure you find out who's there. Make sure that when you know who's there, that you allocate people that you want to talk to. You don't just leave it to chance. Make sure that you're good in terms of communication when you speak to people, and don't be the type of person that's going to tell them all about you. Be the type of person that's going to ask them all about them. Be the person with the questions, not the person doing all the talking. That's key communication skills. When you do your 1 minute, make sure it's as good as can be. I've got some great thoughts to share with you about what to say and how to say it. I'm not going to cover that on this one, but if you listen to my other podcasts, or if you become a client, I'll certainly talk to you about what you need to do to become better at that. Make sure that you follow up. You follow up with people. That's a really, really big one. That's where all the money's made. You don't make the money on the day. It's very rare. You're going to stand. I think in my career, I think it's happened once where, I actually did a talk, which, by the way, is probably the best form of networking, where you get to stand up in front of 50 people and talk for 45 minutes or for 20 minutes, whatever it is, and demonstrate your expertise. That's far better than being one of the 50 people in the room. If you're at the front and you're stood up and you're positioned as the expert in what you do, and all those people have come to listen to you, then that's far more powerful than probably any other form of networking. But just back to my story there for a second. Once I was talking, I was actually at the Canada UK Chamber of Commerce in London. I did my talk, and at the end of my talk, somebody came straight up to me and said, "Hi, I'd like to hire you to do our marketing." It was just literally then and there. And we agreed a rate of £1,000 a month that they paid us to do all their marketing for them. And when we did that for probably a best part of 2 or 3 years, that was a really good example of how networking can work. So good luck with it. I hope it works for you. One final point I'd like to make, and that is, if you are winning business from networking, then good. That's great. I'm really pleased to hear that. What I'd suggest you think about is, how could you become better at it? What could you do? How could you improve? I've given you some great ways, I think, of doing so. And then I'd say, what about other networking events that you could get involved in? You know, if you go once a week to a particular event, are there opportunities for you to go twice a week, perhaps to a different event, or to test different events to see which one might work for you? I mentioned that the Canada Chamber of Commerce, which is based in London, is one of my best forms of networking. I still go there. I'm still involved. I'm going to be doing a talk there soon on LinkedIn. So if you want to come along to that, then either get in touch with me or the Canada UK Chamber of Commerce and speak to Nigel there. Connect to him and go and find him, Nigel Bacon, and he's a great guy, and I'm sure you'd enjoy a conversation with him about the chamber and the event that I'm running. So that's about it. I hope you've enjoyed this little podcast. Was entitled "Why Networking Doesn't Work," and really what to do about it. So thanks ever so much for listening. If you want to know more from me, go to my website, steve-mills.com, and look forward to speaking to you soon. Thanks very much for listening.